It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings. It's now time for our next review, where we're going to review the 2016 film Train to Busan.
부산으로 가는 KTX 406 열차가 곧 출발합니다.
저기요, 이상한 사람이 하나 타고 있는 것 같은데.
팀장님, 여기 11호차 응급 환자 발생했습니다.
아직까지 남의 안에 열려 있다니까. 우리 그냥 이것들 달고 부산으로 갑시다 바로. 지금 몇 호칸? 지금 무슨 일이 벌어지고 있는지 몰라? 우리 열차는 더 이상 부산으로 운행할 수가 없게 됐습니다.
Alright, Dwayne, this movie was really good.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I've heard great things about it, so I was expecting a very great movie, and it did live up to the hype, which was great.
I agree. I heard about it. I heard a lot of good things about it. I just never sat down to watch it.
Yeah.
And kind of like when we talked about the Australian one, the Babadook, I heard about it. I just never sat down to watch it. When I watched it, I liked it. Train to Busan, I loved it.
I did too. Fucking start to finish. Boy, I couldn't take my eyes off this thing. It is just, I don't know what about this movie. It was almost 2 hours.
Sure.
Right at it, and then like just the whole time it had my attention every second of the way. I never lost interest once. Oh man, it's just such a heartwarming zombie film, and it's about a guy who's like a workaholic. He's like this big exec or some kind of like powerful business guy. And he works all the time. He doesn't have time for his daughter, and his daughter's kind of getting sick of the bullshit, and she wants to go see her mom in Busan. And then so he's like, I don't know, maybe we'll go next week. But then she hits him with the 1-2 punch that he forgot to go to her recital, and I was like, oh dog, no. And so then she hits him with that you don't care stuff. So he's like, I guess I gotta take her to Busan. So he takes her to the train. They get on this big train, and just so happens right when they're getting on is the beginning of a zombie apocalypse. And the whole thing takes place on a train, and fucking shenanigans pursue. Dwayne, what did you think of all that?
Yeah. So like you said, the guy's a workaholic. Not only did he not go to recital, wasn't it her birthday too? That was the thing. Like, he didn't go to recital, and it was my birthday. Then he got her a gift. It was the same gift because he doesn't think about these things. He workaholic. It's the same gift he already got her like a couple months earlier. Yeah. So she got the same exact thing. She's like, well, you don't love me because you don't know you don't remember. You just bought me this same. It's like a Nintendo Wii or something, right?
Yeah.
He said you just bought me a Nintendo Wii a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like you said. As they're driving in, they hear some stuff, and you're like, yeah, it's a zombie outbreak is kicking in right as they're getting on the train to go see the little girl's mom, his wife or ex-wife or whatever.
Ex-wife, yeah. And oh my god! And unfortunately for them, as they're getting on, at the last second, someone infected gets on the train with them, and this shit spreads quick. Like once bitten, they have I don't know a minute before they turn, and they like fucking. They look like they had to hire nothing but was it contortionists?
Yeah,
because they're fucking like bending their arm all the way back and fuck. I mean, it wasn't. It looked brutal. But there wasn't a whole lot of gore. It's just like you could see a bite and stuff, but like in some stuff, zombie movies, intestines rip out. There's none of that, but there is blood, and I mean shit happens quick. And the other thing that got on my nerves was when they were running from like train to train cart, they never shut the fucking door. They leave the door wide open. I was like, this is why y'all getting killed right here. They're very stupid.
Yeah. So to go on what you said, it's not like a traditional zombie where like they're looking for brains or just eating body parts.
Yeah.
It's more like a 28 Days Later one where they're just trying to infect you, and they're beating the hell out of people. Like you said, it's like violent. The person gets bit or whatever happens, they die, whatever, and their body starts contorting. Like you said, it's violent. I mean, you see people, they're sitting there and they're moving a little bit, and all of a sudden they like swing their whole body around, and then they've got the eyes and the veins and everything. It's like all of a sudden it's a snap, and the whole body just like awakes that hey, I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
It's like maybe boom, and they just go crazy and start trying to beat people to death and everything. It's really vicious. And some of the visuals where like the horde starts running, it's like they're showing like the horde is like staying still almost, and like just the trains moving. It's like the way they photographed it. It's really good.
Cause there's some parts where you see them running, and then like fucking more zombies start running on top of them. I was like, holy shit! It would talk about like suspense. Out of all the movies, I think this one did suspense the best. I mean, like every scene that they're dealing with the infected, I'm like, what are they gonna do? And one thing I loved about is the zombies can't see in the dark. I do like that aspect. I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, that's a nice twist. And they had really good like ways to get around it. I love when they're doing zombies. I love it when they're trying to be smart and outsmart the zombies. I love that.
Yeah, and just run all the time.
Yeah, and just like have the creative ways. And they did that. Especially there's a scene where they're on one end of the cart, and then they're trying to get to the people on the other end of the cart, and in the middle is just many carts of zombies, and each different cart, they're almost doing something completely different each time to get through it. It's almost like a video game, where like, okay, on this part, you gotta be stealthy, this part you gotta fight, this part you gotta find an alternative route. I just love that they're finding different ways to get around each different cart, and that's probably my favorite thing in the whole movie. Is like, oh man, how they gonna... Oh my gosh, Dwayne, this movie was just so much fun. I could see me watching this one time and time again in the future. It was just so much fun. Great film. That's why I'm happy we're doing this horror around the world. There's a lot of movies I probably would have never checked out.
Yeah.
And then like, hey, let's go over our way to look at foreign films. And boy, I'm glad I found this one. Oh my gosh, it is just such a great film, and then very sad too. I mean, like every time someone dies or gets killed, I'm like, no, I like that person. No, I like that person. It's just such like a fucking like tearjerker almost at points, and tug on the heartstrings for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely, even though it's a zombie action flick, there's a lot of character development, and you meet characters. And you like the characters. Yeah, except
there's this one asshole you don't like.
One guy you don't like.
And then like they push his death to the fucking end of the movie.
Yeah. But you meet like a ball team and like a high school ball team.
Like a baseball team.
Yeah, some of them get turned quick, some of them don't. Something happens to some of them. Yeah. Some of them make it almost to the end, the last 20 minutes or so, you meet all these characters. One guy, he's got his pregnant wife with him, and at first he's like an asshole to people, but then he's like one of the ones that actually starts thinking about how to do things.
Yeah.
And you start to like his character. Plus, he likes to make fun of the main character.
He's like a total like, badass too.
Yeah, you find out he's like one of the badasses on the train, and there's just like you said, there's a lot of people. You got different like character types on there. You got the little teenagers in love, you got the badass, you got the main character's daughter, you got the pregnant woman, you got these two older ladies or sisters, right? And you start to care for them, and then you got all the jerks who don't want to be infected. Hey, we're important people, we're up here in the cars up towards the front of the train, and we're not letting anybody in because we think they're infected, even though you can see they're not because they had to turn. So there's a lot of good character development, twists, ways they're thinking about getting around them. You know, like you said, they're kind of like night blind, so they don't see things. If they don't see you, they don't go after you. So one of the things I would never have thought of is they throw water on like one of the windows and put like newspaper, stick it to it, so the zombies can't see them. So the zombies stop attacking them because they don't see somebody to kill. They just see like a looks like maybe like a side of a house or something where they wouldn't see anything. So like hell, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of zombie movies. I never thought about doing something like that where they wouldn't see you. I know people try to hide, but they're just blocking windows, and they're using fire extinguishers to spray the windows so the zombies wouldn't see them and stuff. It's really good.
And there's another really good scene where they're trying to get past the zombies. They wait till they go into a tunnel, and they try to get through them that way. That was really clever too. I was like, damn, there's so much they can do with it, and it was just a lot of fun, man. Like every scene was just great with this thing, and it did kind of a little bit of a sad ending. You finally get to the end, and then the one jerk you want to see fucking die the most, he finally gets killed at the end after getting like what 3-4 people killed.
Oh yeah, he's a jerk. He's pushing characters in front of the zombies so he can run away. Oh, he's an all-around ass.
And so at the end, they're finally getting on this new train, and then it's like the main character fights him, and it's kind of stupid. He's trying to push him off this train, and he put his fucking hand over his mouth. It's like, why would you put your hand right in the no-no square? Like, do not put your hand here. I was watching this video yesterday. These guys were trying to fish, and they caught a shark. The dude put his hand right next to the shark's mouth, and guess what? Shark ate his fucking pinky for being a dumbass. And of course, sad, main character gets bit, and they finally throw that fucker, that asshole off the zombie off. And, the main character has to kind of jump off for him because he knows he's going to turn. And it's sad, and the little girl, the pregnant woman are the only two who get away into Busan. But even though this one, like I was complaining, the whaling didn't have a great happy ending, this one was fine. I don't know, it's just like, it's still, it didn't affect the movie for me that much. It's like he sacrificed himself for his daughter. At least she and the pregnant woman got to live, and hopefully got to live somewhere safe. And it's like, there's another scene I want to talk about real quick. At the very end, when they fought their way to the end and got to the last cart where everybody else was, the asshole guy wouldn't let them in, and him prolonging them getting in got 2 characters killed. The badass and then the one of the sisters. And I feel like the one sister could have made it. It looked like she just sat there and let herself get ate. I don't know what that was about.
I think she was. Remember they were talking about like she couldn't walk that fast. Her legs were bad. She needed help moving. So she thought, well, instead of endangering anybody else, I'll just stay here and get attacked and stuff to draw attention away from the other people as they were running. She kind of like sacrificed herself.
And then her sister was just watching her other sister on the other side as a zombie, and it's like, you know what? Fuck everybody else. And she did say they're all assholes anyway. Yeah. So she lets the zombies in to get 8, and she gets 8, and kills almost everybody else that's left on the train. Well, there's nobody watching her. Like she let all the zombies in. Have you ever played the game Dead Rising?
No.
So the game is one of my favorite games ever. And a bunch of survivors of a zombie apocalypse. I just happened to be at this mall. And the very first, it's like the very beginning of the game. And everybody's trying to board up the mall. There's one old lady. It's always goddamn old ladies. Her poodle is on the outside with the zombies. And she says, you know what? I'm going to let my poodle in. And she opens the thing, gets ate, and gets a shit ton of people ate in the process. And, it's like, what the hell's with old ladies and fucking it up for everybody else? I don't know.
What are you thinking? Get off!
I'm saving you, baby! Wait for me, sweetie! Madonna!
So, Dwayne, if we're having an apocalypse, no old ladies on the crew.
Okay.
Good with that?
I'm good with
I
that.
don't fuck it up for everybody. What are your final thoughts and score of this?
Okay, so final thoughts is, this was a very good, well thought out, well shot, well acted movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially like at the end where like the little girl's just bawling and the main character's bawling because they know they're not going to see each other again. Like, damn, this is intense. And they got the little girl that act that good. Damn, that's good.
okay, so well acted and everything. A lot of character, like I said, even though it's a zombie apocalypse movie, a lot of character development.
Yeah.
You like these characters, and then like Sean was saying, pretty much almost all of them die. And as you're liking them, and you're seeing how they're trying to think about ways that they're missing their families or whatever, and then they end up getting killed, you're like, damn, you know, this is kind of sad too. And I know a lot of people have talked about at the end when the dad gets bit, he knows he's got to get off that train so he doesn't infect his wife or the pregnant lady. He tells his daughter to protect the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
You know, and it's rough because he said the dad, he knows. He said, I've been a bad dad my whole life. I'm finally doing something good for my daughter, and then this shit happens. And then he's like, well, my last good thing I'm gonna do is sacrifice myself so they live. And he's having, even as a zombie, as he's turning into a zombie, he's thinking about his daughter.
Yeah.
He's thinking about all the good times him and his daughter had, holding the daughter and everything. And then he sacrifices himself. He jumps off the train so that he doesn't affect him. And I know a lot of people said they were crying at the end of the movie and everything. I was really sad. I was upset. I was like, damn, you know, he was a bad dad his whole life. He finally does a good thing, and this shit happens. And then he's like, I'm going to go out on a good note, even though I know I'm dying. I'm going to not infect anybody else and everything. And I was really sad at the end. I was like, damn, this is heartbreaking. Because he loved his family so much, even though he wasn't able to show it because of his work. His work was always keeping him all day long and everything. Even as the zombie apocalypse is going on, his work is calling him.
Yeah, calling him.
Times. Yeah, and say, hey, what's going on? Did we do this? Da, 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 da. They're calling him while the zombie apocalypse is going on to ask him about work-related questions. So that makes you feel like, hey, this guy, all he does is work. But great movie. And I'm gonna go with a 9 with this one too. This one was just compared to a bunch of other movies we watched. This just hurt when I watched the end of it. I was like, damn, you know. I said Dumplings was just such a good movie that at the end with everything going on, and this one's the same. I enjoyed every minute of this movie.
All right. Here are my pros and cons to Train to Busan. Pros. Great acting, directing, writing, character development, everything in this film was great. Super intense film, edge of your seat the whole way through. Never once got bored. My cons. Questionable survival tactics, like not closing doors or putting your hand near the face of a zombie. giving Train to Busan 9, I'm not crying, you are, out of 10.